Okay, guys, so these last couple of days we've been talking about early civilizations. And these civilizations, we learned that they were located between what two rivers? Alex? Alex says they were located between the Tigris and Euphrates River. If you agree, put your thumbs up. If you don't, put your thumb down. Okay, Alex is right on it. These civilizations would settle in this area, and we learned that they would grow crops, yes, and raise animals. And because they were settled in this area, this would lead to achievements. Can anyone define the word achievement? Julie? Julie says achievements are things that people do correctly. Anyone want to add on? Alexi said there are things that people do successfully. Anyone else? Martha says there are things that people accomplish. Yeah, and we know that nowadays a lot of people have achievements, and you guys may also have things that you have achieved so far in school, maybe outside of school. So we're going to start talking about achievements done by a certain civilization, the Sumerian civilization. So we're going to also learn how these achievements we still use today. They may be a little changed, but we still use them. They started back then and we still use them today. So we're going to start first by doing this, completing this short activity, which you guys should all have a copy of it. And we're going to do the first category, which is what I know. So you're going to have 2 minutes to discuss with a partner what you know about the Sumerian achievement or the Sumerian civilization in general. And then after the 2 minutes, we'll come back and discuss what you guys came up with. Okay. So, and when the timer's going on, you guys work, and I'll be going around and helping you guys and just checking out what your ideas. Okay, guys, time is up. And we're gonna discuss and fill out the chart together. If you guys didn't put something that we put on here, you guys feel free to write it down on your paper. Okay, so what were some of the things about the Sumerian civilization and their achievements that you guys already knew about? Okay. Yes. Yes, they were located in a river valley. So located near a river valley. What is something else? Um, yeah, the area was called Mesopotamia. Yes. So Mesopotamia. Okay, what was something else? Correct. They would farm. They would farm. Anyone else anything else? I raise animals. Okay. Anyone else? Yes. Alex. Alex says they were located between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Good. Okay. Anyone else? No? Okay. Awesome. You guys have some great ideas up there. So now what we're going to do, you're going to do another 2 minutes and you're going to have time to answer the next category. And with the partner, the person next to you, the same person that talked to, you're going to fill out what I wonder. So these are questions that you may have about the Sumerian achievements and what they did. Okay? So I'm going to put the timer on, and while you guys are working, I'm going to go around the classroom and help you guys out or answer any questions you may have, okay? Okay, guys, time is up for that category. Let's discuss it. And just like before, if you guys want to add on to yours, you can. So what are some things that you guys have come up with and you have questions about? Yes. 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 So what tools did they use to farm? That's a good one. So what tools did they use to farm? Awesome. Anyone else? What type of foods they had? Good. What type of foods did they have? Anyone has to know the one? Yes, Alex. Alex says, what did they use to control the river water? What did they use to control the river water? Make sure you guys are writing this down. Yes, Julie. She says, what kind of animals? Okay, that's a good one. What kind of animals did they have? What kind did they have? Anyone have another one? Alexis. Alexis says, what kind of writing system did they use? Did they have a writing system at all? So we could put, did they have a writing system? Awesome. These are some great questions, guys. You guys did great. Okay, so now we're going to watch the video introducing the Sumerian achievements. And while you're watching it, I want you to fill out this category of what I learned, okay? So make sure you're writing it down. And after we're done, you're going to discuss your ideas with the partner. So let's watch the video. I'm going to put the volume.
My grandfather knows all about it. He says the first thing the Sumerians did was get really good at farming. My ancestors used to make their living by hunting wild animals for food. They were constantly on the move following the herds. As they traveled, they would also gather wild berries, nuts, and greens to eat. But they often didn't know where their next meal would come from. It was a hard way to live. Then they discovered they could plant and harvest a kind of wheat they found growing wild. And they also found out how to tame wild goats and sheep and raise them for food. Grandfather calls that domestication. It meant they didn't have to hunt for food anymore. They could grow it themselves. And so my ancestors stopped wandering and stayed here. They discovered that food grows better here than almost anywhere else. That's because we're in a river valley, right between two rivers, in fact. Mesopotamia actually means land between the rivers. One river is the Tigris, and the other is the Euphrates. My grandfather says it's easy to grow food in our valley because the soil here is so fertile. And he says that is because of the mountains up north. It snows a lot up there in the winter. When the snow melts, all that water runs down into the valley and into the rivers. Then the rivers rise over their banks and flood the valley, and they dump a lot of really good dirt on the land. It's great for growing food in. So now we eat really well. We grow barley and wheat, lots of beans and fresh vegetables, and fruits like melons, dates, apples, figs, and grapes. Our animals give us milk, cheese, and meat, and there are always plenty of fish in the rivers. When my ancestors first started farming here, their biggest problem was never knowing when a flood might come and wash away their crops. Even if the crops survived that, they might die in the summer when it's so hot and there's not enough water. But my people didn't give up. Instead, we actually invented a way to control the river. First, we learned how to build levees. Those are big piles of earth between the fields and the river. They're too tall for the river to get over, so they prevent the floods. Then we made gated ditches around the fields, and when the crops needed water in the summer, we would just open the gates and let some river water flow in. To plant our crops, we use a great tool called a plow. It's a Sumerian invention, and we use an ox to pull the plow, another of our great ideas. Some of our smartest people invented a calendar based on the moon and stars. My grandfather says nobody had ever thought of a way to measure time like that before. It helps us know when the floods will come. In our calendar, each year has 12 months, and each month has 30 days. Each month is represented by one of the constellations in the sky. They're called the zodiac. Our priests watch the zodiac to know which month it is. That way, they know when the floods from the mountains will arrive. We Sumerians also invented writing. My grandfather says that in the old days, nobody knew how to write. Well, if you can't write, How do you keep track of how many animals you sold last month? What are you supposed to do? Paint them on cave walls? No, we're much more modern here in Sumer. We figured out how to write on clay tablets. You just take a piece of reed and cut a stylus from it. That's a sort of hard pointed tool. You press the point into some wet clay, and pretty soon you're writing. Our style of writing is called cuneiform. With writing, you can keep records of everything you do. It's great because then you don't have to remember it all. You also can make things permanent when you write them down. For example, we were the first people to write down our laws. But this is maybe the best thing we invented. The wheel. You'd think somebody back in the old days would have thought of it sooner, but we were the first. Before carts and wheels, we used to just drag things around. That was hard. But like I said, we are very modern here in Sumer.
Okay, that's the video. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys another 2 minutes to discuss with your partner what you learned by watching the video, okay? And then after we're done, we're gonna come back and discuss it and write it on our charts. Okay guys, time's up. Okay, so just like before, you guys can write down anything you guys didn't include in your chart. So what are some things that we learned? Yes, one of the things they grew was wheat, correct? They did grow wheat. So they grew wheat. Does anyone have anything else that they grew? Yes. Vegetables. Yes, they did grow vegetables. Vegetables. Anyone else want to add on any of the fruits that they grew? Alex says grapes. You're right on it. Grapes. Grapes. What else did they have? Julie. Julie says apples. Apples. Awesome. Okay. What else did they have? Alexis. Great point, Alexis. Alexis says that they had a writing system. Does anyone remember what the writing system was named? Yes. Cuneiform. Okay, so let's write it down. So they had a writing system, and it called cuneiform. What else did you guys learn that they have that we have here also now in modern times? Yes, Julie. Julie says that they had a calendar which had how many? 12. 12 months, just like we do. So they had a calendar. They had a calendar with 12 months. Did anyone catch what they used to know which month it was? Alex. Alex says they used the stars, or anyone? Constellations. Yes. So they used the stars to tell them what month it was. Okay. Anyone? There was another thing. Did anyone catch it? Alexis. Alexis says the wheel. Yes, and we have wheels, right? We have wheels on bicycles. Our tires in our cars are like a wheel, right? They're round. We have wheels on wagons, on shopping carts. That's something that they created back then, and now we use now. So they created the wheel. Okay, what was something else? What was something else that they had? Alex says that they created levees. So remember in the video they had they closed it off this section, and then they would open it to let the water be blocked, and then they would open it to let the water go in. So that's what a levee is. They had levees. Awesome, guys. This some great ideas. So I want you guys to put this chart in your folder, and for you guys to bring it back tomorrow, so when we start the lesson and we do a deeper dive into the achievements of the Sumerian civilization, you guys can add on to your chart. Okay guys, so yesterday we kind of introduced the concept of the achievements of the Sumerian civilization. Today we're going to do a deeper dive. We're going to do a couple activities about them. So before we do that, we're going to go over our objectives for today, and we're going to do this warm-up activity that I have. Okay, so let me move up the screen. Okay, so we have 3 objectives today, and we're going to repeat them all together 3 times. Then you're going to say it to a partner, okay? And we do that for every objective. So the first one, let's do it all together. I can identify 4 achievements of the Sumerians and explain their importance. I can identify 4 achievements of the Sumerians and explain their importance. I can identify 4 achievements of the Sumerians and explain their importance. Now say to partner. Okay, let's go to the second one. I can read about the achievements of the Sumerians. I can read about the achievements of Sumerians. I can read about the achievements of Sumerians. Okay, now say it to another person. Okay, so the last one. I can write about one of the achievements and share out loud with my classmates. Altogether, I can write about one of the achievements and share it out loud with one of my classmates. I can write about one of the achievements and share it out loud with one of my classmates. Now say it to one more person. Okay, so before we go on to the other activities of this lesson, we're going to do a Kahoot activity to go over the vocab that you guys are going to see during this lesson and the ones for the next couple of days that we're going to have. Okay, so I want you guys to pull out your laptops and go on to Kahoot.com. And I'm going to put it on the screen. Okay, you guys should be logging on. Make sure when you guys log on, you put your first name and the first letter of your last name. Okay, everyone is on. Let's start. Okay, Mr. Terry, first two. Okay. That's our leaderboard. Okay, great job, Alex. Okay, so I'm gonna exit out of that, guys. And we're gonna go. I want you guys to pull out this paper that I gave you in the beginning of class, and you guys are gonna put the day to day, and you're gonna color your score right here. And and I'm gonna make the link to the Kahoot available to you guys through your Google Classroom, and you guys are gonna be able to do it wherever you are, at home or here. And I want you guys to at least do it one time per day. We won't be able to do it all the time in class, but I want you guys to try. And I want you guys to put the date and then color how much you get on that day, so you guys can just have check your progress on your vocabulary. Okay, so now let's move on to the next thing.